Hello guys, so welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. So today we're going to be talking about, those weird books that we read this year that we thought was weird, but we were entertained or got something out of it. So I'm going to be talking about 4 books that I thought was weird and that I liked in some weird way. So they're all different genres, and so I'm going to just jump in and talk about the first one that I don't have the physical copy on me, but I do own it, and that's The Pisces. Guys, I picked this up because it was under the Bailey's Woman Award. Yeah, Woman Award. And I wasn't sure about it. It was just like whatever. And then when I saw a few people, especially Didi from Branga Reading, decided that to share that she enjoyed it, and I was like, let me pick this up. And man, this was one weird book, but I was entertained. It's another form of an entertainment story to me that dealt with mental illness. That's the premises of the character. She's going through end of a relationship, and she is just completely lost and crazy. But the way the author wrote the storyline, it was so out there, but she tied it in very nicely at the end, because when she added a merman to the story, I was wondering where the hell she going with this, and I literally laughed at the silly things that was happening. But at the end I got it, but it was just so out there. There were certain things that happened. I mean, they had some erotic moments where I'm just like no, like gross out. And the things that she was doing, and it was just, this character was definitely going through the motions and going through some things, and it was just so entertaining. Definitely memorable for this year for sure. It's not the most amazing story, but it was out of the box as far as talking about mental health. It was definitely out of the box. So the next book I want to talk about is another award nominated book, which was Lani, and this one I picked up just because it was short. It was on the Man Booker, and I said, let me try this. And guys, this was another one that it's really not easy to really review this. I feel like this is one of those ones you just have to go in blind. But just think of a family moving into a town, and this town has this old man that's like he's supposed to be this mystical creature in the town, and there's a myth whether or not he's real. But this family is going through a lot, and you see they have a little boy, and he has these dreams and these weird visions and all these things that was happening, and it ended up being a situation that was it had a sad situation in the book. However, this was one of those books that I feel the writing style is what really did it for me, what made me really love. I really love this book. On the Man Booker list, there was only pretty much this one. I think I read 4 or 5 on the list, and this one and another one that I really enjoyed. But this one I was surprised people weren't talking about it, because I thought this was well done. The writing style, how the story came about, that whole having that mystical, futuristic take on a town and all the things that was happening. It was just so, oh my god, the writing on this was so beautiful, and I wish more people were talking about this one. But again, it's not your typical book. It's not the book that you would expect, but I really liked this. This was a good one for me. The next book I'm going to talk about, boy, all I thought was, the first thing came in my mind after I got through a few pages is, yeah, a man wrote this damn book. And you guys already, if you saw my reading vlog, you definitely know I'm talking about The Damn Chain. And this is a story about the chain. The chain is now kind of like getting a chain letter, and if you don't pass it along, they'll tell you something bad is gonna happen to you. But in this one, oh yeah, it is a chain involving children. So someone kidnaps a child. That family has to kidnap another child from a family in order to get their family back, their child back, and then that family gonna have to find another family to kidnap their child in order to get their, so it goes on and on and on and on. And as you're reading it, you just know, Lord, some man wrote this crap, because it's just the take on parenting and how some parent will like do the worst, commit the worst crime, including endangering of a child to save their child. It was so weird. It was so like scratch your head moment. There's so, you know, it's like when you know you're reading something that's just like far-fetched, but you just can't help but you're laughing. And then there's like that action-packed thing at the end, and how this one was getting on my damn nerves. But after a while, I was like, all right, she got some guts now. She got some guts. They messed with the wrong mama. And I was so into it. But honestly, the storyline definitely was far-fetched. Definitely was weird as hell, but it was entertaining. So that's how I felt about this one. And then the last book has to be the most controversial book of 2019 when it comes to reviews. I think it's probably a split at this point. And I'm one of those people that's on the I actually like the damn book. And that is Black Leopard, Red Wolf, Marlon James. Now y'all know. If you got through the book, you know it's a weird ass book. It is one of those books that I read this in a month. I took my time because I really wanted to get the story. I really wanted to follow all the adventures that was going into the story. And I am a Marlon James fan, so I'm used to his writing style. But I'll be honest, this was a little bit more challenging because of the world building in this. This is a fantasy, it's high fantasy. So it's not realistic in terms of these other books that he's written where the world was realistic. So with this, you have multiple characters. You have multiple characters with different forms. That's how he described and how they look and everything. And you have this main character, Tracker, who is gifted and he's able to foresee things and find people. And he's hired to find this golden child, this child that's supposed to believe to be this, that, the other. And while he's doing that, he's meeting people along the way. Some are out to harm him. Some by nature, they're just basically, if you come past them, they might do something to you by nature, not necessarily him. And all these other characters and these towns and these cities that he goes in, and the differences in the city, and the differences in customs by whatever culture he meets up in the city, the talks of slavery in different ways, the talks of, you know, kingdoms of, you know, certain cities where he goes in and their leader, and also the manipulators in this. There's people who you're not sure, you know, they seem like they're for him. And then there's this sarcastic, I mean, there are a lot of sarcastic phrases and lines in this book that is funny, but at first you're kind of like, huh, but you get it. There's a character in here that I really liked, and you know, he was like that dry character that had me freaking laughing at times because of the little slidey remarks that he will make. And then there's, you know, the main character. He's not really like the most lovable character. You're kind of like, you know, don't know how you feel about him as he's telling, you know, things that happen to him when he meets people along the way, especially like things that happen to him, because this is not your cookie book. This is brutal. He does touch on things that are triggering to people, and some people couldn't get past those parts. If you read it, you know what I mean. But for me, I was in it. I wanted to know what's going to go next. I want to see how all of this is going to come forward. I want to see what's going to happen when he gets to this city, or this person, or how did this damn person come in the picture in the first place. That kind of deal. I was for it. It was weird as hell. It was weird, but I was entertained. I enjoyed it, and I'm here for it. This was one of the weirdest book, and the book I actually thought memorable. I like very much. But yeah, so these are it, guys. That's 4 I could think of. I mean, The other ones, I don't find them that weird. They, you know, they're very good, but they're not that weird. But these are the ones I felt like I had a scratch my head moment, or I'm laughing because I'm like, what? So yeah guys, that is it. So if you've read some books, what are some of the books that you thought was weird, like the storyline was just like, had you like moment, but you still enjoyed the book? Leave it in the description. So I'm curious to see what other books that people think were weird that they enjoyed. So thanks for watching guys, and have a good day. Bye.